Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today's presentation on ethnomedicine and ethnobotanical documentation of beneficial plants of Aboriginal community Maran, Pahang. My name is Muhammad Luzman Afiq bin Azmi, and I'll be your presenter today. Let's begin with a brief introduction to our topic. Today, we will delve into fascinating world of ethnomedicine and ethnobotanical knowledge of Aboriginal community in Pahang. Our primary objective is to shed light on the traditional uses of beneficial plants within this community and how they are deeply integrated into their daily lives. This is the outline for this presentation. Chapter 1 is Introduction, Chapter 2, Literature Review, Chapter 3 is Methodology, Chapter 4, Results and Discussion, Chapter 5, Conclusion and Recommendation, and also references. Without further ado, let's dive into Chapter 1, Introduction. What is the definition of ethnomedicine and ethnobotanical documentation? Ethnomedicine refers to the study of traditional medical practices, knowledge, and beliefs of various cultural and indigenous groups. It involves the exploration and documentation of how different communities use local plants, animals, minerals, rituals, and other natural resources for healing and maintaining health. Ethnomedicine emphasizes the cultural context and holistic approach to healthcare, taking into account not only the physical aspects of a person but also their spiritual, emotional, and social well being. The knowledge and practices in ethnomedicine are often passed down through generations and play a vital role in health and survival of these communities. The ethnobotanical documentation, on the other hand, is the systematic process of recording and documenting the traditional knowledge and use of plants by different cultures and indigenous communities. It involves the collection and preservation of information about the identification, preparation, and application of various plant species for medicinal, culinary, spiritual, or other purposes. Ethnobotanical researchers work closely with local communities respecting their cultural values, intellectual property rights to gather data on the plant's therapeutic properties and their significance in traditional practices. This documentation not only contributes to the understanding of local healthcare system, but also aids in the conservation and sustainable use of valuable plant resources. Overview of the Aboriginal community and their connection to the nature. Indigenous people live in biodiverse forest areas and have intricate traditional knowledge about resource management and utilization of native plants for their welfare. Indigenous plants are used by indigenous communities for socio-economic activities and traditional medicine, serving as an alternative to modern medicine. The problem statement for this study include the urbanization process, which resulted in the declination of interest among younger generations. Public healthcare, economic growth, and formal education institutions contribute to the deprivation of traditional knowledge of medicinal plants. Other than that is declination in availability of medicinal plants and related traditional knowledge as a result of agricultural activities. Other than that is the lack of systematic documentation and surveys on indigenous people's use of medicinal plants has led to the erosion and loss of valuable traditional knowledge over time. And lastly, degradation of natural habitats and ecosystems further exacerbates the loss of plants and cultural diversity, leading to a decline in the availability of medicinal plants and related traditional knowledge. The significance of the study is to lead more documentation on plant species to prevent the loss of cultural heritage and conserving plant species, and also adding values to the plant's functionality and leads to more research and discoveries in various fields such as agriculture and alternative medicines, and lastly, to have more plantation that can be done to prevent loss of plants that can be used in their daily life. Next, we move to the objective of the study. The objective of the study is to identify the plant species used in Aboriginal community of Maran, Pahang in their daily life. Other than that is to determine the uses of each plant species in the everyday life of Aboriginal community, and also to analyze ethnomedicinal and ethnobotanical values derived from plant species identified in Bukit Cicap, Maran, encompasses of the healing properties, handcraft products, construction uses, and the traditional cuisines. Okay, now we move on to the literature review of this study. Traditional knowledge. What is the meaning of traditional knowledge? Traditional knowledge encompasses the accumulated wisdom, customs, and practices of indigenous peoples and local communities. It is often passed down verbally through generations and includes various forms of communications, such as stories, folklore, rituals, and arts. Traditional knowledge is vital for the sustainable subsistence of these communities and is not recorded in written form but remains available and adaptable. It changes along with the communities, making it a dynamic resource. Traditional knowledge plays a significant role in biodiversity conservation and is increasingly recognized by scientists, managers, and policymakers. While development may impact original traditional knowledge practices, some communities continue to rely on their indigenous knowledge as a necessity for their daily lives. Role and value of traditional knowledge encompasses a network of ideas, knowledges, and customs that conceptualize and sustain indigenous peoples' interaction with their culture and environment over time. It is not merely a list of survival techniques, but a way of thinking that offers ethical principles and practical insights. As traditional knowledge supports sustainable growth, it gains increasing respect. Indigenous tribes have employed traditional methods for thousands of years, which have proven to improve local biodiversity and maintain healthy ecosystems through domesticating and cultivating various plants and animals. The significance of traditional knowledge extends beyond the indigenous communities to modern business and agriculture. Traditional knowledge plays a crucial role in preserving biological diversity, and international bodies such as UNESCO, UNCED, UNEP, NATO, and the World Bank, UNCCD, and Ramsar have recognized its value, accepting traditional knowledge as a basis in pharmaceuticals. Traditional knowledge contributes to sustainable development economically and environmentally, with various products like cosmetic, healthcare items, and medication made from plants, as well as agriculture and non-wood forest products, all deriving from traditional knowledge. As a result, traditional knowledge proves essential in society, the economy, and environmental preservation. Significance of documenting traditional knowledge. Documenting, preserving, and promoting the traditional knowledge, innovations, and traditions of local and indigenous groups is crucial for emerging nations. Their rich traditional knowledge and biodiversity endowment play a vital role in trade, culture, environment, food security, healthcare, and sustainable development. This is especially important for vulnerable members of society and indigenous peoples worldwide. The tropical rainforests in South America, Central Africa, and Southeast Asia, particularly Malaysia's rainforest, known as the oldest, holding immense heritage from indigenous communities. Documenting their knowledge becomes essential as deforestation threatens the environment and biodiversity. Malaysia, with the National Policy on Biological Diversity, aims to benefit from its biological diversity while protecting the environment as per 1992 Convention on Biodiversity. The Forest Research Institute of Malaysia documents traditional knowledge among indigenous communities to comply with international conventions and seeks to market natural resources globally. Medicinal plants like Tonka Ali, Kacip Fatimah, Mastotek, Pegaga, and Misai Kuching are gaining global recognition. By adopting this novel traditional knowledge documentation method, Malaysia sets an example for other nations engaged in convention on biodiversity to benefit from their indigenous knowledge and resources. Traditional knowledge also serves as an identity and market strategy for global product promotion. Orang Asli. The definition of Orang Asli. The word Orang Asli translates from the Malay language as original peoples or first peoples. The Orang Asli is considered the oldest inhabitants of many regions around the world, having existed there for roughly 5,000 years. Origin and background of Orang Asli in Malaysia. The Orang Asli tribes are geographically, culturally, and linguistically diverse, residing primarily in jungle regions where they maintain a simple way of life, placing their trust in nature and ancient customs. Originating from China and Tibet, the Orang Asli are considered the oldest inhabitants of many regions worldwide and have settled in Peninsular Malaysia and the Indonesian archipelago over the course of about 5,000 years. They are collectively referred to as Orang Asli, a term coined by anthropologists and administrators to classify the 18 sub-ethnic groups including Semang, Negrito, Senoi, and Aboriginal Malay, which is Proto-Malay. Senoi, the largest Orang Asli group in Peninsular Malaysia, primarily resides in the central and northern region of this country. The Negrito, characterized by their physical features such as short statures and dark skin, and are believed to be the early inhabitants of Peninsular Malaysia, having lived there around 25,000 years ago, while the proto-Malays are found in the southern and central parts of the peninsular Malaysia. This rich diversity of indigenous peoples and their unique heritage and knowledge underscore the importance of preserving and respecting their cultural traditions, land rights, and contribution to sustainable development and biodiversity conservation. The Semak-Beri people of Maran. The Semak-Beri tribe is one of the orang asli ethnic groups in peninsular Malaysia, known as the people of the jungle, relying heavily on the forest for their sustenance and livelihood. The Semak-Beri community inhabits various districts in Pahang and Terengganu, where their lives are intricately connected to the forest environment, providing them with food, income, and daily necessities. Their belief system is deeply rooted in profound reverence for a creator god called Tuhan and an array of supernatural entities such as genies, spirits, ghosts, and mystical beings, with the forest perceived as a realm filled with these enigmatic spirits. Natural phenomena like thunder and lightning evoke both fear and reverence among the Semak-Beri, and the spiritual practices are intricately woven into their interaction with the natural world. While some have adapted major religions, the majority of the Semak-Beri continue to honor and preserve their ancient spiritual heritage, maintaining a rich tapestry of beliefs and taboos that revolve around their forests and spirits. The purpose of the study was to document the ethnomedicine and ethnobotanical knowledge of an Aboriginal community in Maran, Pahang, focusing on the beneficial plants within their traditional culture. This documentation serves several important purposes, including preserving at-risk traditional knowledge, discovering potential medicinal and practical uses of plants, supporting conservation efforts, and promoting the socio-economy of the Aboriginal community through enhanced production methods. Qualitative methods such as semi-structured interviews in Malay language with Aboriginal elders and community members, along with plant specimen collection and identification by a botanist, were employed to gather data. The data was then analyzed using a qualitative approach involving coding and identification of themes, resulting in a comprehensive overview of the ethnobotanical knowledge held by the Aboriginal community. The study contributes to the broader understanding and appreciation of the indigenous people's relationship with their natural environment and the significance of their traditional knowledge in modern society. At Bukit Cicak, Maran, Pahang, a total of 15 traditional plant species were identified. Among them, fungus were found to be predominantly used for their healing and medicinal properties. On the other hand, 5 species, namely Goniothalmus macrophyllus, Arenga obtusifolia, Calamus tumidus, Melastoma malabathricum, Etlingera aleto, were utilized to a lesser extent for handcraft and construction purposes. Additionally, 6 species were identified as a primarily and minimally used for food products, cuisine, and delicacies in the sample area. This comprehensive inventory of traditional plants serves to highlight their diverse uses and significance in the local community, ranging from medicinal and construction purposes to culinary and cultural applications. The discussion for the study, all these medicinally used plants are utilized to treat a wide range of health conditions and ailments in the Aboriginal community of Maran Pahang. They are employed for various purposes, including treating gastrointestinal disorders such as diarrhea and dysentery, addressing joint and muscle issues, alleviating respiratory problems, stopping bleeding, treatment of toothache, boosting the immune system, and providing pain relief. These plants also serve as remedies for skin conditions, wounds, and infections. Additionally, they are used to treat ulcer, gastritis, fever, and smallpox scars, as well as to replenish energy, stimulate nerve health, and strengthen man's inner energy. Other uses include addressing digestive problems, diabetes, hypertension, and kidney problems. Some plants are used during postnatal care and family planning. All the non-medicinal use plants are utilized for various purposes such as decorations, construction and craft like weaving basket, mats, furniture, thatching and roofing materials used for aesthetic and ornamental purposes. The other usage of these plants is for delicacies and used in culinary practices. The sago starch from Arenga obtusifolia is used to make dishes like noodles and dumplings, and it is also used in bread making and to produce a local beverage called apong. The fruits and rhizome of Molinaria latifolia are edible and have a sweet taste, and the rhizome is used as a food substitute. The fruits of Melastoma malabathicum are edible with a sour taste and used in traditional dishes and beverages, while the flowers are brewed into herbal tea. Conclusion and recommendation for the study. In this thesis, a comprehensive documentation of ethnomedicine and ethnobotanical knowledge was conducted among the Aboriginal community in Pahang. identifying 15 plant species deeply integrated into their daily lives. The study revealed that these plants have versatile uses, serving as healing agents, handcraft materials, construction resources, and traditional culinary ingredients. Notably, 12 plant species were primarily used for healing purposes, 4 species for handcraft products and construction, and 7 species for delicacies and culinary traditions. The research showcased how these plant species transcend their classification and contribute to the various aspects of the community's life. While this study provided valuable insights, it is also highlighted certain limitations such as the risk of losing traditional knowledge and cultural taboos, hindering knowledge sharing. To overcome these challenges, future researchers should prioritize collaborative partnerships with community members and local experts, fostering active participation and knowledge preservation. Establishing community-based knowledge repositories can safeguard this invaluable information, controlled and accessible by the community. Cultivating cultural immersion and trust building is essential for fostering open communication, and specialized training in cultural ethics ensures the documentation process is conducted with utmost respect and humility. By implementing these recommendations, future research can continue to enrich our understanding of ethnomedicinal and ethnobotanical practices, preserving the valuable heritage of diverse Aboriginal communities for generations to come. With that being said, thank you for listening.